Are we like,
Good
oh,
morning.
what are you doing, Jennifer?
Well, I'm still waking up, drinking coffee because
Co-
we just decide to pop up at random times.
Coffee in the morning.
And you
You
have
know,
coffee now because you didn't have coffee for a couple days.
oh, hey, yeah, it was like a day and a half. I was like whiny about that, like grouchy, like, "Man, I don't have coffee. I want to. And then
I
I'm like,
know. I was on the other side of that. I do know. I remember.
well, but then it's like, if coffee is the only thing I have to complain
You're
about,
right.
I have an amazing life, like
Yes.
son of a gun.
Yes.
But yeah,
I
so
would.
I got a new coffee machine, and
Whoop
now like
whoop.
my, huh?
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, it only takes like 3 minutes for my coffee to be made now. Like I don't need to
What?
get it
So how
started a
long?
day.
How long did you have your old coffee machine?
Girl, I don't know. I think that coffee machine I had came from a job trailer. And the last time I was like at a job, because like the microwave I have, a little bitty microwave, that came from a job, like the job finished, let's break it. And it was like, man, it's 6 years, 6 or 7 years. They had some experience. Anyhow,
And Jesse, I'm sure you invested like $20 into your brand new coffee maker.
shoot, it was like 25. Like that thing better last till the 2030. I need 8 years out of that son of a gun.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
buddy Brumley. What's
but he
going
caught
on,
you.
buddy? Jen, did you notice that there's an event this week? I'm sorry, October 19th
Oh, in New Orleans.
in New Orleans, book signing event.
Yeah, so we're going to be there for Congress. And
Yes,
we also have an event while we're there so we can be there with all of our tribe.
yes, we are going to be congregating at Congress.
Yes,
It's going to be awesome. It's going
it
to be
is.
so awesome.
We
Uh,
got a venue and we're going to hang out for a couple hours and sign some books and sell some books and just hang
Pictures and
out.
selfies.
Yes.
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 Oh goodness. Are we? I still need to get clarification from the place if we're going to be able to live stream there. But
Okay.
if we can,
That'd be
we're
cool.
gonna. Like
I
I'm gonna
mean,
take all my
you
gear.
you can okay, let's just clarify. If you can and they don't give you any hard lines, we will. Like you pretty much live stream anywhere that you can put a camera.
Absolutely. We figured that bad. I'm actually
Yes.
designing in my head a contraption where I can like consolidate all my stuff and be super mobile. Anyways, it's gonna
Okay.
happen.
Okay. Surprised you don't have something sitting on your shoulder at some point. Just kind of,
When I was
just going to
watching
ride.
Elysium, have you seen the movie Elysium? Elysium
No, I have not.
with Matt Damon. He has like this exoskeleton, like that makes him super strong. I was like, man, that's what I need. So I can have like a camera here and like the Instagram live.
One of Armando's lights back behind you.
Yes,
So you're
absolutely.
gonna
There's
walk
like a
around with the
wall pad right
light
here.
and a camera,
Yep.
and then that frees your hands up to do all the comments and stuff, right?
Yes, ma'am. You got it. All right, so buddy. Good morning, buddy. Glad to
Yes.
see
Good.
you, my friend. You caught us. We're doing the pop up because we have a live stream on Saturday.
We do have a live stream on Saturday.
What are we going to talk about
Feels like
Saturday?
it's been a while. So we're talking about feedback.
Feedback. We're talking
You know,
about feedback.
do you know stinking feedback?
No. Well, that I guess that subject felt appropriate because during the live stream last time we were talking, it felt like we had to get we're getting in this conversation around how do you build vulnerability with the group, how do you build trust, how do you get people's buy-in. And then when we went to the after party, that seemed to feel like where we were going.
I
And
agree.
I don't know, Jen, do you think how practiced do you think we are at giving because I think there's a couple sets to this, right? There's giving feedback, and then there's receiving feedback. What do you think?
Well, I think it even goes, I think we need to take one step back before I answer those questions. Is the feedback part usually comes in response to questions. And I think that is also something that we're going to talk about, is the art, or the process of asking questions, and how you ask questions and what kind of questions you ask, because to me that is super valuable in, one, what the feedback you get, but two, are you setting those questions up to get the feedback that you want, or are you setting it up to really get honest, truthful feedback that is going to help you grow and improve?
Yes.
Just that.
Before we go, look, Buddy says they've got a hard hat to hold a 360 camera. Yes, buddy, but if it's on my hard hat, it won't see all of this lusciousness. We can't deprive the world of that.
Maybe you can just have a little arm, and it'll have, then you can just.
Oh, you know what? I have like an adjustable.
There you go.
Hula hala. Yeah, maybe that'll work.
It's like your unicorn camera.
Yes. I love it. Yeah, so back to like the asking feedback. It's I think it's important. Like at first, I'm like, I don't know, that seems too shallow of a topic, but no, it's a deep topic, because the question, like you said, often, early when I started messing around with trying to get feedback, it's like, hey, what feedback do you have? And I would like ambush people. You got feedback for me? And they're like, or especially when I was like doing facilitating groups and stuff, then it's like, okay, plus delta, it's time for feedback, plus delta. And then I would get a plus that like the tacos were awesome, and delta, not everybody showed up, which are like, those are valuable. And you'll get those in every, like food is going to be on the plus delta every time. It's going to be a plus, it's going to be a delta. Attendance is going to be on there every time. It's good. There's nothing wrong with that. And I used to get disappointed because I wasn't getting the feedback, the personal feedback about specific things. Actually, I created a survey. I think I showed that to you.
Maybe.
I created a survey for feedback for me with specifically designed questions of what I wanted to, like I wanted all the feedback, but this was the stuff that I really, really was looking to learn. And to your point though, if we can't ask those questions, then it kind of gets funky. And that's really the thing, is to get feedback, like meaningful feedback, actionable stuff. There's a lot more than just asking for it, right? You've got to be able to receive it appropriately. You got to there's a way to do it one-on-one. There's a way to do it as a group. And I think the tribe is going to get a lot out of this. It's probably going to be hopefully it's going to be a very charged conversation, because there's 360 like there's whole career paths around feedback. And so to me, that's just an indicator of something that we got a problem with.
We do. And I think and it'll probably come up in on Saturday, but we probably won't get into it too much. Maybe that's another live stream, but just our support and capability group, and just not that's so much on feedback and solutions and getting feedback, as much as what questions can do, and how, if you know and listen and really are trying to, have a one-on-one connection with someone else, that sometimes it's not just about give it to me, but it's the interaction between two people. And if you can really listen and understand how to ask the right questions, you may get information that you didn't ask for, you weren't expecting, but it's like almost the setting of it. You're not going into it to get feedback for yourself, but because you are listening and really trying to help or, elicit some more conversation with another person, you may get feedback that you weren't expecting, but that could help. So there's that. But that group for us, what it did to me is it helped me understand how not to ask those, hey, are you having a good day? Hey, is this working for you? Hey, Are you good? Is everything good? Okay, wonderful. Let's go. Because at that point, they're not going to go, no, I need you to stop and really listen to me because I'm having an issue. They're not going to do that. When we walk around and we ask those type of questions, even if it's quick feedback, even if we're looking for confirmation, like if we ask the questions a certain way, we're going to get, yes, I'm good. Okay, moving on. Okay, good. He's out of my face. Good. He's out of my way. He's not here with me. I can go back to what I was going to do, even if they have an issue.
100%. Miss Izzy, good morning, Miss Izzy.
Good morning.
Coming in from Facebook land. No, you're exactly right. Like those close-ended questions, and you can use them. Like, so I'll go back to the support and capability group. Like, how long have we been having that? It's been once a month for what, 8 months now?
Since January, I think.
Since January,
I believe so.
And a lot of that, like the ability, the capability to listen and to ask those questions, to shift from the closed-ended yes or no questions to now asking inquisitive, thought-provoking questions. That happened with practice. We're talking about practice. Right? And so that's another thing I think the tribe is very forward thinking. And hopefully they're not looking for silver bullets, because just about everything we share, Jen, I know me, it's not stuff that it's like the magic formula.
Nope.
Like, yes, it can be done and it will help. But to get to that point, there's a lot of work to do to transition from asking yes or no questions. And then from there, it's like, okay, well, I won't ask yes or no questions, but I'll do the leading the witness type questions. Right. And it's like, no, I'm not really doing, that's not achieving the outcome that I'm seeking. And then finally getting to a point where I'm able to listen deeply and focus entirely on the person, not what I want to know about it, but what they think about it. And when we start getting there, then it's like, that's part of why we had that 3-hour conversation with on the phone.
Well, to me, it's not the silver bullets. It's the brain tingles. It's when your brain can all of a sudden, it's doing something. It's making that, like I think you say, synapses, those connections that weren't there before. It's doing something different. Then all of a sudden, the conversations and the outcomes and what could happen is now different than what it was before. And now ironically, the connection inside your brain, which then helps the connection with the two people that are having the interaction.
Yes. It's all connected.
Yes. And then what I thought about this, because I knew we were talking about feedback, and I did a LinkedIn post yesterday about an event, and it made me think about, isn't that, sometimes it's you just need a vent, which I know there's people out there that vent a lot, but most people that are out there in our tribe and that are out there, change makers, that we hang out with, cool people that are out there that do post on LinkedIn. A lot of times it's for feedback, and whether it's acknowledgement or it's, hey, I need help, or it's, hey, give me your thoughts on this because it's a work in progress, or, hey, this event happened. And then, you want feedback on, hey, that's great. Or, hey, I didn't think about that. And so like LinkedIn in itself, with, most of the time, I'd say, 80 or 85, 90% are people that are putting things out there, and they are needing comments, likes, things. That's instant feedback.
Gratification. Yeah. Oh, so that's another thing. Like, that's a way bigger thing.
I know, right? They hit me in the right there in the middle of my head this morning.
Feedback's not as maybe not feedback, but LinkedIn. I'm thinking about like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And like if it was a spectrum, LinkedIn is a lot of dialogue, right? There's a lot of exchange of ideas, exchange of opinions. There is feedback in there. But there's a difference between seeking feedback and seeking attention.
Truth. And that's literally where I went, because it was like there's people out there that are looking for one. And I saw that. I was like, I was gonna hashtag it while we were talking. I'm like, let me dang it. Funny. No, but that was my, like, there's people out there that are just looking for that light to shine on them, not because they need the light on them to elevate and to acknowledge, but it's that look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yes.
Versus the celebration piece of it not just be about that. And so it is there's that element of that shining the light, look at me versus, hey, let me put this out there because this is a great opportunity to get other people's thoughts.
Yes. Yes. I think for me, like the core difference, maybe the core practice around making feedback the powerful tool that it can be is what I do with it.
The action. Oh, right? I was right there. I was like, is the action that comes from it. What is the action?
What is the action? How do I respond to it? Like that change, that transforms all of it.
Yes.
And we're going to be able to get into that because I got tons of examples where people want to, this is an open, no authority in the room, no positions. We want your feedback. But all of their behavior told the entire room, and even me, I've done it, that nope, I don't really want your feedback, right? I just want to be able to say that I opened the door for feedback. Like, or maybe not even that. I wasn't even aware that my response to the feedback was killing it, right? And signaling to people, I don't really want it. And so there's some overt things that we can do that make that happen. And there's some other things. It's really an awareness thing. Oh, here's a good one. Ooh.
I got one too, so you go.
So here's like super power move. Especially like if you do public speaking or you want, rather, I'll say it this way. If you want to learn and evolve or improve hyper rapidly, ask one person that you trust that's like super courageous, that's going to be in the room to be your spotter. Right. And so like the support and capability group has that designed into it. We don't call it that, but your spotter. So for example, when I was doing this presentation that I did with the high regularity, and I wanted to, there were some areas that I knew were kind of funky for me, but I couldn't figure out exactly why. So somebody's going to be in there and I said, hey man, and they've been through it before. So I say, hey, so I'm looking for, if you don't mind, I would like to meet with you directly after this presentation, and I want feedback on A, B, C, and D.
Nice.
And like, tell me what you saw, what you experienced, how the room responded, like whatever you can observe, please tell me that. And man, when they told me, I'm like, got it. Now I know what was preceding it that would kind of make me do this funky thing, whatever it was. And I made that a practice, right? Like, hey, if you can be there. Sometimes people are like, no, bro, like I'm going to listen. You're crazy. I want to have fun. Like, okay, fine. But getting a spotter.
That's awesome. I don't even know why I hadn't thought about that.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Yes. What was your thing?
Mine was, and it's almost like a challenge to everyone that's listening now. We'll talk about this a little bit Saturday, but the challenge is, and this happened in my presentation Tuesday, and it's only because I practiced it a lot, is when you go in to your meetings, to your whatever you're doing, presentations, like have a question, an open-ended question, has to be open-ended, that elicits people to have to, their brain to have to start thinking about something a little bit different than you're going to be up there, this talking head that's going to just feed knowledge into them. Because that's a lot of times, a lot of presentations or a lot of meetings, I have to come in, I have to listen to somebody drone on, and like that's normal for a lot of us. Have an open-ended question to start the meeting, and it feeds into, or it has something to do with what you're going to talk about. Ask the question to the group and just say nothing. Because I'm going to tell you, most of the time, not calling anybody out because we've all been there and it takes practice, you will answer your question first. And part of it's because you don't like silence. We know those people, Adam, that don't like silence. But we do it because in our minds, time, when we're up there doing in a meeting, like time is so much longer than it really is. And so like it literally ask the question and wait till someone responds, and just in your mind, like, counts. Like, just, I mean, like, just if you have to do something to not be like, feel like you're awkward or whatever, but because that is the hardest thing for people to do, ask a question and wait for a response.
Yes.
And so that it doesn't even matter what, like how big the question is, or if it's going to elicit this whole big discussion, but it's just something to get people to stop and think about, oh, they want me to contribute to this to start. So anyway, it's a little thing, but I've just noticed when I do those open-ended questions to start out, all of a sudden, again, they're getting a little uncomfortable, a lot uncomfortable, which is fine. But also it starts to disarm them. Like they feel like, oh, they're already wanting my feedback to start. So they're not coming in with this whole agenda, and they're coming in with, they're going to do this, and they're already asking for feedback to start with. It changes the dynamic of the conversation and even the interactions in the room.
Yes, 100%.
Sorry, we're like already. I'm giving way too much for a pop up.
Oh, I'm giving away all the secrets.
But you have to come Saturday, because I'm sure we'll dig into all that, and then we'll even give more cheat codes.
Well, the tribe, right? Once we open it up to the tribe, it's gonna blow up. No, I got some tricks up my sleeve for Saturday on feedback, because there's the other end of it, right? The stinky feedback. I think the popular term used to be constructive criticism, which is fine, right? Like, I just think feedback's feedback. But if we're not, it's an interesting thing, right? Performance evaluations is supposed to be feedback, but they only happen once or twice a year. Sometimes, like the really evolved companies have it 4 times a year. And I thought it was the funniest thing in the world, right? Because construction, we're pretty direct, we're pretty assertive, until we have to do performance reviews. And I would read, guys, this was part of my responsibility. I would review all of the reviews, the performance reviews that were executed. And they were like these glowing reviews of everybody. But I would hear the guys complain about the same people. And I'm like, guys, what's the problem? You want this person fired. But I'm reading this review here, and this person is like on track to be CEO. So I'm not understanding what is happening here. And it was something about having to write it down and have that one-on-one discussion that all of a sudden everything, the pillows, right? They put pillows all around the message to make it sound real comfortable. I think that's what it was, is people, we get in this mood of, this is uncomfortable. How do I make this as comfortable as possible? But then you're underserving the person, because after that meeting, you're going to go talk smack about them, or you've been talking smack about them.
It was last week, I think we had a event here in Dallas, in Armando. There was a group of us talking about some of this exact conversation. And, the question comes up like, okay, this bonus is great, but did the people that aren't doing it at my level still get a bonus? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, feedback is great and confirmation. And, we get, like, hey, I'm doing something good, but then is it devalued sometimes because like that? And that's a type of feedback, you get a raise, you get things like that. Like those are intrinsic feedback we get, extrinsic things like that. But did everyone else get it? Or did someone else still get it, even though maybe it was a little bit less, but they still got recognized and they still got something? That then, like, are we sending the right messages?
100%. Yes. Oh, it's going to be a good.
I don't even know if we can contain it in one show, but we'll see.
No, I think it's going to be good. We'll probably just dive deep on a few things. But I think it'll help us. And I think we're going to learn something. The tribe, of course, always has something to add.
Yes.
Shout out to Steve Martin and, oh my goodness, somebody else. Let me find it.
I wanted you to know too, like, I know you did the event, it's week of, which is what you usually do, but like within the first 24 hours, there was like 65 people attending. Like, I don't know if that usually happens that fast.
Yeah. Well, because this, yes, no, that's awesome. The tribe is engaged. We got mad support, girl. That's what it is.
I mean, like I'm figuring that out as we go. It's like they keep showing
Yeah.
up. They keep coming back.
Yeah. So Steve Martin and Tanya both shared the event on their page. So
Nice.
that's super cool. That means more people are going to get
Yes.
exposed to the craziness.
And we keep
And
seeing okay, go, finish.
no, did I tell you about the NoBS lunch that we're going to be having in San Antonio?
No, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so I had lunch. I met Miss Tanya in person. She's from in San Antonio, which that was amazing. I'm like,
Oh,
hey, you're
she's the
the
one that shared the picture of the book while she was on vacation.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So we met, and then she's like, why don't we do like I know y'all do the after party, but why don't you have like a no BS brunch? I'm like, I don't know. That's like a genius idea. Um, so I haven't nailed out the details. It might be next week, it might be the following week, but we're planning on having a lunch somewhere in San Antonio so we can all like meet together and like connect. And they don't know it yet, but I'm probably gonna live stream that at some point.
That's going to be awesome. But I know Steve Martin is like throwing it out there, like, "Hey, I know we have some tribe members up here in this area. We should get
Mhm.
together." And so you're going to try to launch something that's going to end up being like a road show. That I have
Yeah,
I have a feeling it's going to grow into something more than just a San Antonio brunch.
yes. Well, hell, we could do it in New Orleans too. Well, more
Yeah.
to come with that.
Well, I mean, there's like a whole lot here in Dallas. Like we could do our own show here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. All right, girl. So what do you think? We think that's enough, or should we put some more teasers out there?
I mean, I think we put more than we could probably even talk about on Saturday already.
I like it. All right. Well, then we will see y'all Saturday,
Yes, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock Central.
8 a.m.
Yes.
Take it easy. Oh, oh.